Your next choice, you skip Paul McGann. He's had no love so far. You also missed Eccleston, the Ninth Doctor, and instead you went to the 10th Doctor and a story in his third season, which was, interestingly enough, based on a novel which originally featured the 7th Doctor.
It was, yes, 10 points.
Human Nature / The Family of Blood.
Yeah.
Quite remarkable tales. I keep imagining that I'm someone else and that I'm hiding.
Hiding? In what way?
But almost every night, this is going to sound silly.
Tell me.
I dream, quite often, that I have two hearts.
Well, then I can be the judge of that. Let's find out.
I feel bad now for not picking an Eccleston, because I really like Eccleston. And he had some fantastic stories as well. Things like Father's Day is amazing. The Empty Child's amazing. Parting of the Ways is amazing. There's so many great Eccleston ones in such a short time as well. So he definitely... but unfortunately, as it had to be down to just 8, it was difficult. But yeah, again, I've picked quite a soppy one. Human Nature. Again, I think it's fantastic. It's fascinating because you see the Doctor becoming human. And actually, talking about Father's Day as well, when Eccleston was talking about how the Doctor envies how normal and everyday human life is, and we don't tend to think of the Doctor's life, because the Doctor, we tend to think of having this amazingly exciting life, but he never gets to kind of settle in any one place, and I think he got that chance in Human Nature, to fall in love and to have a sort of normal life. So it's, again, just heartbreaking when that all falls apart at the end, and he has to leave. I can't remember her name. The woman from Space.
Joan.
Yeah, she's very good in it. But yeah, and also some fun bad guys. The Scarecrows are just a great sort of Doctor Who villain. You can just imagine kids, darting behind the sofa again. It's very John Pertwee era or Troughton era, that kind of zombie scarecrows. It's brilliant. But yeah, it's just really well written, and I liked the sort of First World War connections in it. And yeah, I'm trying to think what else I love about it. It's just a great double part of that one. What do you like about it?
Well, to be honest, I agree with you completely. It really shows a different side to the Doctor that we don't normally see. Like, what would he be like as a human? What would he be like settling down and having a family and all these sort of things? And it also shows how tragic, in a way, the Doctor's life is, because he can't really ever settle down in one place or have a family again, because he has to constantly be on the move, on the run, saving planets and things.
Yeah, I think I think you take different things from the show when you're obviously an adult like ourselves, than you do as a kid. I think you tend to find. I think that's one of the reasons why Doctor Who is such a long-lasting and great show, because it works on so many levels. And you've got the zombie scarecrows that kids will love, but you've also got like a lot more depth to the story in stories like this as well. That that's what makes it a family show. I think there's something for everyone in the family, really. And I think at his best, I think the Doctor represents all those elements of the family. I think he's got that sort of the stern authoritarian sort of parent role, but he's also got the excitable kid, the curious nature and all that sort of thing. So I think there's something that everyone can relate to in that show and that character.
Not only is the Doctor not there for most of it, but also even when he is the Doctor again, he's very different, what with the retribution and punishment.
Extremely dark in the end of that one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because the family of blood aren't even the most evil people that a Doctor comes across in this. I mean, they're bad, but they're not the most. And it's interesting that the 10th Doctor becomes human, because he's sort of one of the most human, even when he's the Doctor.
Yeah, he suffers a little bit from, well, if you see it as suffering, but to me he suffers a little bit from the same thing as Davison, in that he's, very charming and very affable and very likeable, but sometimes lacks that sort of alien quality that people like Tom Baker and most of the other Doctors have, that real sort of eccentric alien thing going, whereas Tennant does have it, and Davison does have it, but maybe not as much. And they do come across as more. I'm trying to think of a word that's not insulting, because I was going to say generic, but they're not generic at all. They're very talented actors and really interesting Doctors. But do you know what I mean? They've got more of a traditional hero role, as opposed to the eccentric alien of Tom Baker, say, or even McCoy or someone like that. But I think sometimes the way the Doctor is played is sometimes done in opposition to the Doctor that came before. So I think the fact Tennant is kind of like that in a way, because Eccleston was so what's the word? Kind of the opposite of that, wasn't he? He was very tough, whereas so Tennant comes across as much more accessible, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I think the reason why Tennant works so well and is such a long-standing Doctor is because he had those different sides. So he had that very lovable, charming persona, but then, like at the end of this story, he could flip the switch and become incredibly dark. There's not many Doctors that would have done that to the aliens. To really, yeah, it's pretty dark, the end of that one. Quite dark all the way through, actually, in some parts.
Yeah.